The World of Warcraft login screen has been a pretty big staple of the game ever since it was created. I mean, you boot up the game and bam, you're hit with that WoW login screen, right? And now we have a new one. This is it. This is the War Within login screen. Credit to Wowhead for finding this. That's where I got this picture. And I think it's okay. And I kind of want to go through all the login screens throughout World of Warcraft's history. And then we're going to rank them on this tier list here. As you can see, I've got the tier list, and I don't know. I'm curious to see where I rank all these and what everybody in the comments is going to think. You know, tell me your login screen tier list if you want, but let's just start by going all the way back. I think I'm going to talk about War Within at the end of the video, because let's just go in chronological order. So, first things first, we've got ourselves the old classic login screen. I think this is one of the best login screens. I mean, you boot up the game for the first time in the 2004, 2005 era, and you're hit with this, right? I mean, you play other games at this point. Nobody has login screens like this, right? I've seen the EverQuest login screens, even like Dark Age of Camelot, from what I've seen, and like nobody had a login screen that was like animated, and you boot it up, and it's just like, come on into this vast world. Like, it looks like you're crossing over into the World of Warcraft to go on this big explorative journey, right? And I love that. It feels like it just encapsulates, whatever it's called, the entirety of the game. Like, you're about to go on an adventure, and I think it sells you on that. And so I think it's great. And then you got the music, obviously, which is fantastic. I have it turned down a little bit because for some reason some of these are really loud, some are really not that loud, so whatever. So next we go to Burning Crusade. As you can see there now, it like peaks up. And Burning Crusade, to me, was okay. It's not bad, but I do like the initial one more. And I don't know why, because it's kind of like a new version. Like, obviously, it looks like you're in Outland. You're in, I believe, Hellfire Peninsula is what we're looking at right here. And then I think you're seeing back into Azeroth from here. So it's kind of a play on the old one, but, you know, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I do think it's still pretty good. Like, you realize you're in Outland, or you're going to Outland, right? So yeah, that one's all right. Then we go to Burning Crusade, or Wrath of the Lich King. So this one might be another favorite. Like, I remember opening Wrath of the Lich King. You get this Ice Crown Citadel panoramic view. You get Sindragosa flying in. I always love Sindragosa flying in and then being like, "Bruh." I think that's sick. And you kind of know what you're getting into, right? You're like, shit, dude. We're going to Ice Crown. We're going to fight Arthas. There's frost dragons. Like, it's awesome. So I love it. I think it's just very aesthetically pleasing. It's like kind of snowing. It's kind of, you got the epic music playing in the background, and it just really captures the whole vibe of Wrath of the Lich King. I think it's probably one of the best ones, probably on par with the first one. Then we go to Cataclysm. And, you know, for as much as I bash Cataclysm, I think the intro login screen is actually pretty solid. Like, it's pretty good. You have Deathwing kind of, you know, lurking on top of Stormwind, looking around. You obviously can tell everything's burning. He's just kind of chilling up there. And it's kind of setting the mood, right? When you log in, you're like, all right, things are burning. Deathwing's here. You can pretty much tell it's Stormwind. So you're like, Stormwind's on fire, right? You get the picture. It's kind of giving you a preview of what you're about to experience. And I think that's pretty cool. And then the music's great. I actually think Cataclysm is also on par with like Wrath of the Lich King and Vanilla. So far, I think Burning Crusade out of these four is my least favorite, but it's by no means like terrible, right? And then I love the Deathwing also kind of looks around too. That's pretty neat. So then we have Mist of Pandaria. And Mist of Pandaria feels like it's taking a big turn from what we've seen, right? Very epic, grand login screens, and now it's kind of a chill vibe, right? You have the trees with the leaves floating away. You've got these statues. It's more of a kind of almost like a warm feeling, right? We have a lot of warm colors like yellows and oranges and gold. Because you look back and even like Cataclysm is very red and like dark and kind of stormy almost because it's all on fire with ash. And Wrath of the Lich King was very, snowstorm with dark blues, and then this feels like the brightest of all the login screens, and there's something very chill about it. And so I think it's just kind of different where, I don't know, it's because I don't think it's not over the top. There's no crazy enemies. There's not Garrosh here all corrupted, like storming through. But it is a pretty chill login screen. I feel like you kind of get that vibe from Pandaria in general. Like, sure, the war's going on, it's all corrupted, but it's still a really chill place, and it's one of my favorite places to just go and explore, just environmentally, with all the zones and everything. So it kind of does set you up to have a great time in Pandaria with a really chill vibe. So, I mean, this one's okay. I don't think it's my favorite, but I think it's a solid login screen. Then we hit Draenor, and I don't like this one. I don't know what, I think it's too glowy. It's like, it's got that Burning Crusade vibe to it, right? With I think it's trying to be like the original and Burning Crusade kind of blended together, but obviously we're going back in time. We're going to old Outland, or, original Draenor, right? And then it's just like the glowy stuff. It feels like there's a lot going on with all the glowiness, and I don't really like that. I think and then it just like cuts out, like, and then it comes back. I actually prefer it. Can I like rewind a sec? I kind of prefer it like this. Okay, it just, I think I genuinely prefer it if it's just like this. I think this looks kind of sick. If it was like this, and then maybe just like the portal, like just show a portal right here going to Draenor, like maybe the Tannin Jungle or Old Nagrand. I think that would be awesome. And I think the glowiness is what ruins it for me. Like, just it's too much going on. I feel like I'm old, but I'm just like, I don't like all that glowiness. So not really a big fan of that. Plus it feels a little like uninspired, but yeah, I get it. It's calling back to the older, it's kind of a nostalgic expansion anywhere. It's like, we're going back to the old Warcraft stuff, right? So I don't know. Legion. Maybe one of my least favorite, login screens. I mean, I think the Felguards are cool. I think these big pillars of fire are cool. I mean, the green beam, I'm kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't even know what this green beam is. It's just, this just feels like a random scenario from the Legion. Like we just went to Argus and found like some random spot and was like, yeah, film that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel that cool. It again also doesn't really feel that inspired. And I feel like they could have done so many cooler things. They could have Gul'dan. They could have, I mean, we were fighting titans and gods and shit, right? We could did something with that. I don't know. I think there's a lot of cooler angles they could have taken. So I genuinely, I don't think Legion's very good at all. It's probably one of my least favorites compared to like all the other ones we've looked at. Then we have Battle for Azeroth. And listen, I'm somebody, I stand up for Battle for Azeroth, all right? I actually enjoyed the expansion outside of the gameplay mechanics of Azerite. I mean, listen, I'm somebody, I just go around, I mount farm, I collect stuff, I play casually. So, I find things for pointless top 10 lists. So from that angle, I love Battle for Azeroth. But this login screen is just kind of boring. Like, it feels like it's cool, but it's also not cool at the same time. And I think this foreground image is the problem. It feels like this should be kind of animated or something. Like, I don't know. It feels like the alpha version of a login screen. You know what I mean? Like, it genuinely feels like this was the alpha of the login screen, and people were like, all right, we'll wait and see what it becomes. And then it just was that. And especially in BFA, where you had so much cool stuff. You had, like, ships, and you had dinosaurs, and jungles, and trolls, and you had Jaina with all the, like, ice and water and stuff. You could have did something with that. Like, Jaina's flying in, she's like, she's, like, sailing over the water. That would have been, dude, okay, remake this. You're out at the open seas, like, ships are sailing by, Jaina flies by, and she's like, she's, like, shooting ice. That would be like, dude, let's go play some Battle for Azeroth. This is awesome. I'm logging in. Not just like, yeah, here's some helmets. Birds flying around. Or dragons. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know. It's just, kind of, it's also down there. Next up, Shadowlands. And you know what? It's actually pretty good. Surprisingly, I kind of like Shadowlands. That I'm not going to say that very often because it's way down there in my expansion rankings. Bottom 3 for sure. But the login screen is pretty good. I mean, it's giving you kind of a glimpse into what you're going to be doing, right? You're going into Shadowlands. You kind of get this big glimpse up at the Citadel and then all the crazy sky stuff with the rocks floating up. I think it looks really cool. Now, the Jailer and the rest of the expansion and the Maw and everything is terrible. But the login screen, I think, is pretty sick. And then we go to the current one. Well, current until a couple weeks from now. The Dragonflight one, which I love that Alex Straza swoops down. This gives me a lot of Pandaria vibes. I don't know if you guys get that as well, but this gives me very strong Pandaria vibes. It's very chill. You know, kind of mystical. You got the fog, and you got Veldraken back here. A lot of the trees. You got the chill, like, Grizzly Hills, Azure Span type of music happening. And it's got that fantasy vibe where you're just like, yeah, you know, we're going to the Dragonlands. It gives me that vibe of Dragonlands. You've got dragons flying around like Alex Straza. You got all the ambience and stuff. Like, I think it's all right. I don't think it's my favorite. But I'd probably put it on par with Pandaria. Like, it's pretty solid. And then, of course, we have The War Within. And when I saw this, I instantly got, like, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings DVD menu vibes. I don't know if anybody else thought, but when I see this, I feel like this is the background for when you open up Hobbit, Lord of the Rings on DVD and you're, like, clicking through to find what you're gonna do. And I don't... some people are like, I hate this. I don't hate it, but it just feels very uninspired. And I've seen people theorize that it's going to evolve. I think that would be sick, right? Like, it starts like this, and then at some point during the expansion, a patch hits, and then the login screen, like, changes, like, it cracks open, or, you know, something else. Like, who knows, right? But it evolves. That would be really cool. I'd be down for that. Do I think they're going to do that? Probably not. I wouldn't bet on it. But... it's okay. Like, you know, for a login screen, I like the color palette. Like, it doesn't hurt my eyes. It's very orange and, you know, earth tones, and I think the lava looks cool. It's not... I don't think it's bad. I actually like it more than Legion. That's... or Draenor, but that's not saying much. I mean, it's okay. Like, for a login screen, it's okay, but I feel like I pulled up an image here I want you to look at. So this is an image from The War Within. And I was looking at this, I was like, this would be a lot cooler of a login screen. Like, you could have some stuff flying around. You have the big crystal back there. You're in the caverns, but you also have that, it's whatever that one zone. I can't think of the zone names, but it's the one zone. And I think it's got a good color palette. You just have the login stuff. I mean, and this would be on par with, like, some of the other one, like Pandaria or Dragonflight. I think this would have been an awesome login screen. But, you know, that's why I say it almost feels kind of uninspired. But, again, I don't really hate it. I think the music's pretty cool. It's just, it gives me DVD menu vibes. Specifically, like, the Hobbit DVD menu. So now let's go through and actually rank them, all right? So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Classic Vanilla WoW at number 1. I think it's just the best. I'm going to put Wrath of the Lich King right behind it in S tier. I think it's phenomenal. And I almost want to put Cataclysm. You know what? I think I would. I think I'd put Cataclysm in the S tier too. I think these are all top tier number 1. Phenomenal login screens. So then I'm going to go A tier. I'm going to go Pandaria. I think Pandaria is great here. I forgot to add Dragonflight on this one. So I'll just tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you right now, Legion's going in the D tier. Yeah, along with BFA, just not great login screens. I'd put Draenor down here as well. I do not like any of those. I'd say Burning Crusade to me is a B tier. I'm going to put War Within in the C tier. Because, you know, I mean, I think it's a C-worthy login screen. Shadowlands, I'm also going to put in the B tier. And then I would probably put Dragonflight I think I'd put it in the A tier. I think I'd put it right with Mr. Pandaria. So that's where I would rank all of the login screens. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Give me all your rankings. What do you think was the best login screen? Yo, that looks pretty cool. Me like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Let me know. Do you like this login screen? Do you agree with me, disagree? Let me know. And check out Zygor. Use code crendor 20% off. Link in the description. And check out my latest pointless top 10s. We had pop culture references, and we've had things you never noticed in WoW. Okay? Okay. See ya.